Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, and welcome back to the Sports Corner Live. God, it has been a long time since we did a watch along on this channel, but the season is back. Look, it's been a couple of weeks now that the season has started. Been a few games going on, of course. We had a few very exciting games going on. Ronaldo coming back yesterday to the Premier League. Who thought that was going to happen a few months ago, and everything in between. But we're back. The channel is back. This is it. This is the start of the watch-alongs again. We said to you guys it was going to take a couple of extra weeks for us to get ready for them. Purely equipment-wise, hadn't got the streaming services and everything that we needed. But we're back. And funnily enough, before we actually do get onto the screen and get ready for what should be a very exciting game, the first game that we covered last year from the Big Five leagues was this very match on this very day at this very time. I don't know if that's some kind of weird shenanigans going on in the world. I don't know whether it's just a really weird thing that's just, the same day and the same time. But it was Leeds Liverpool that myself and Rowan covered at this exact time last year on this very day. So it seems really fitting that the first watch along we've got back on the channel is Leeds Liverpool. But look, I hope you guys are really excited for it. It should be a very good game indeed. Boom, how are we all doing? You might have noticed it looks a little bit different on here. That's right, I've been messing about and changing everything up on the channel so it looks a little bit more clean, a little bit more nice. And more than anything, there's a bit more of the screen filled up. This is how it's going to look from now on. Hopefully, I get to use the green screen a little bit more because we didn't get to use it as much, did we, last year? But this is how it's going to look. Welcome to the Sports Corner. If you are brand new, as always, don't forget to leave a like and a subscription. If you are new to the channel, we have got a whole host of watch-alongs to come over the next few months on the channel. And this is the starting point. Leeds taking on Liverpool in the Premier League, the first Super Sunday game back since the international break, which we had just a few days ago. Wasn't the most exciting international break, if I'm going to be quite frankly honest with you. But hey, at least we've got Premier League football back at the end of the day. But this should be a very entertaining game. If you remember last year, myself and Rowan, we covered this match. Ended 4-3. It was the most bonkers game, I have to admit with you, if I'm being quite frankly honest. It was an absolutely outrageous match between these two sides. And I think we're going to get something very similar today. This is the first game back for Leeds fans in terms of a very big match, I guess you could say, in their home stadium, because they did play Manchester United, didn't they, in the first match of the season, which was quite hammering for them. But that was, I'm pretty sure, at Old Trafford. So this is realistically the first big game back for Leeds fans in the Premier League in donkey's years, if I'm being honest with you. I can't remember actually the last time they played Liverpool, if I'm being honest with you, in the Premier League. But kickoff is about 10 or so minutes away, a little bit less than that. We are going to go through the lineups, which you can see is now on both of the sides of your screens. We'll go with the Leeds lineup in a second, and we'll go with the Liverpool lineup, of course, in a moment. But by the way, if the lighting is a little bit dodgy, I do apologise. When I'm back in my uni accommodation, it'll be alright. I've only got one light on right now, which is on the left-hand side of my screen. Hence why the right-hand side is probably a little bit more darker than it is usually. But don't worry, when we're back at uni again, I can have both lights on at the same time. But as you can hear, I've got a wardrobe right next to me, so it's a little bit tight right now. But in about 2 or so weeks' time, we should be able to have everything set up to exactly how we want it to be. But just going through the chat to say hi to you guys. Long time no see to you all. Tubbs back in the building. How are we doing, Tubbs? So you're good as always. It has been a while indeed since I've seen you guys in this stream. A long time it has, hasn't it? Of course, we were doing a few videos on that beforehand, but unfortunately Tubbs kept missing out, sadly for him. But he's here, and that's the important thing. Tubbs saying the difference is I wasn't here last year. That is very true. You're here now. You're back, ready for some footballing action. We got Daz in the building as well. How are we doing, Daz? Hope you're good as always. It is just me today on the stream, but don't worry. over the next few weeks, we will have the boys back in the stream. We've got a few streams coming up midweek, of course. UCL back in action again, so we'll have a couple of the guys back. But we won't all be back in action until around about, I would have said, probably the end of September, October time. So a couple more weeks until the rest of the guys are back. But I'm back for now. Rowan and KD will be back a little bit later on this week. But then after that, we should hopefully get the likes of Will and Kieran Al on board again. Hopefully, I'd like to get Adam involved again if he wants to, but we'll have to find out if we can get him involved at some point. I know Kyle's in the building as well. How are we doing, Kyle? Hope you're good as always, mate. Good to see you in the stream. He says the visuals look brilliant, Josh. Thank you very much indeed. I tried to make it a little bit more nice looking on the screen for you guys, because I'm not going to lie, the way that we had it last year, I really hated. I'm not going to lie. It just looked really blank on the screen. So I thought, why not visually mix the old lineup? You might remember the old lineup that we had for the watch-alongs when we first did them about a year and a half ago. In fact, it looked a little bit plain and casual. I think it had like a red, like red colours and things like that on that. I've taken a little bit of that and then matched it up with the one that we're using before, of course, with the scoreboards and the graphics. And I think this just looks a little bit more cleaner. I can use the green screen a bit more effectively as well. And I think it just looks a little bit more nice. And don't worry, because we've got a whole host of other ones as well, which I purposely made for each individual one, a different setup for each league. So we will, of course, we'll go through them as the leagues come along, and maybe we'll show you a little bit later on what they look like at half-time. But Tubbs has asked, will you be doing solo watch-alongs for the UCL games? No, luckily enough, KD and Rowan are able to join us, so we will be doing a goals show, or at least something like a goals show, on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday for the Conference League, the Champions League and the Europa League. But that is good for us, that we don't just have a single game, because originally it was just going to be me. I didn't know if any of the guys were going to be able to do any of the matches. So originally I was going to do single solo watch-alongs for the games on Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday night. But I got news yesterday that the guys could. So yeah, we will be doing a goal show Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday. So yeah, should be good indeed. But the players are coming out for this fixture. I will just say now, for the rest of the season and beyond, I will be a little bit behind you guys that are watching it on live television. The reason is because I've changed the software that I use to watch games live. I used Now TV last year. Wasn't too bad, but I've changed what I use this season. A lot more responsive, a lot more effective. And I can watch 2 or 3 games at the same time, which is even better when we get to the Champions League a little bit later on, of course, because we do miss out sometimes a few games from the UCL that I can watch now, so even better. But yes, the Sports Corner is back. Tubbs says he predicts a more spectacular year for the Sports Corner. Hopefully, indeed, because it was a fantastic year for us last year. Hopefully, a much better one to come. But this is a brilliant, brilliant way to start the season, as Leeds are just coming out and about to face Liverpool. I'm just going to crack open a can. Can't open it with my fingers, so I'll open it with a key. There you go. There's a fun technique for you if you've never opened a can before. Well, I'm saying if you never opened a can, I'm pretty sure you have. If the can ever gets stuck where the lid is and it's just like really hard to get off, just get a key. Opens it up easy. But this is it. Both teams out, ready for this fixture. Calvin Phillips with a shirt saying rest in peace Sarah. I think it was one of the fans that unfortunately passed away this weekend. I can't say obviously what of. I don't really want to sit there and speculate or anything like that, but I think it was a very notoriously known fan in the Leeds community. But looking at the lineups, of course, that's what I were going to talk about before the game had started. Leeds United 4-2-3-1 today under Marcelo Bielsa. Of course, haven't actually got a win under their board yet this season. Meslier is in goal. Back 4, pretty much the same back 4 of last season, bar Junior Firpo. Of course, he signed from Barcelona and has certainly really started quite well, actually, in the Premier League. Really got into life as a Premier League player at Leeds. Of course, you've got the midfield Now, Sky's saying it's a midfield 5. I think it's going to be kind of a 4-2-3-1 type system. You've got Phillips and Dallas, who will be at the very least the two holding midfielders of that Leeds side. You've got Harrison and Rafinha as the two wide midfielders, and Rodrigo acting as, I guess you could say, the false 9. Well, not the false 9, sorry, the central attacking midfielder player, someone who will just be a number 10, I guess you could say, in this system. With that man, Patrick Bamford, had his debut, of course, as an England player just a few days ago. He is up top for Leeds United today. And then on the right-hand side, he is the Liverpool team 4-3-3 as always. A few changes to this Liverpool side from what you'd usually expect. Harvey Elliott being the main man of the side. That is notoriously different to the one of last year. He's had a brilliant, brilliant start to life as a Liverpool player since coming back from his loan spell at Blackburn. And then in terms of the players on the bench, of course you can't see the players on the bench on your screen, but to quickly run down it for you. The most notable players for each side on the bench. Daniel James, of course, just signed from Manchester United. Record signing for Leeds. He is on the bench today. No doubt we'll see him come on at some point in today's match. Even. Bloody hell, my voice is going. Not a great start, is it? And then Liverpool, of course, on the bench for them today. Ibrahim Konate just joined from Leipzig recently. Big signing for Liverpool, and funnily enough, one of the only signings they made of the window. Apart from that, the other recognisable players on there, Jordan Henderson and Oxlade-Chamberlain. No forward on the bench, or a striker at the very least on the bench for Liverpool. Minamino and Origi are both out injured as far as I'm aware. So the players are going to take the knee once again, as always. We are probably about, I would say, 20-30 seconds behind actual live coverage. That's what it's going to be like for me for the most of the season now. So I do apologise. So try not to spoil anything in the chat. But we are underway with our first game of the season on the Sports Corner. Not the first game of the season overall. We've had a few games before that. But the Sports Corner is back. And hopefully you guys will be sticking around for what should be a very, very good game indeed. The timer is on the screen. Yes, that's right. We couldn't forget the timer. I'm just going to very quickly sort that out. Of course, had to jig a few things earlier today. But we're underway with this game. Score predictions in the chat as always, as you can see on the bottom left-hand side of your screen. I've gone Liverpool 3, Leeds 2 in this game. I think the crowd today are going to be key to this match for Leeds' first proper season, I guess you could say, back in the Premier League with the fans in there. This is what they've been waiting for, to play the best teams in the league. And this should be a brilliant, brilliant game to watch, if I say so myself. Let's hope it lives up to the hype. You remember last year, as I said at the start of the stream, Liverpool 4, Leeds 3. It was, I've got to say, that it was the first game that we did in the Premier League, and arguably one of the best games of the season. There was drama left, right and centre. I can remember when Mane scored an absolutely outrageous goal that was given us offside in the end. It was the first game that we'd seen the actual offside rule used, where the flag could only go up at the end of an interval in play. That rule, of course, changed now. If it's quite blatantly obvious that the player is offside, then they can just put the flag up now, which is great, because the amount of times last season we'd seen the ball being put in the back of the net, or there was a decent chance from a player and it wasn't given as an offside, was quite frustrating, if I say so myself. But yeah, apologies again about the lighting. We will get that sorted out when we do get back into our uni accommodation. It'll look a little bit more cleaner when I've got another light on this side. I've got a light on that side, but for now I can't have a light on this side because I've got a wardrobe, so it's a little bit of a nightmare indeed. But Tub saying, strong lineup for Leeds. Yeah, very strong. Very strong indeed. I think if you're a Leeds fan, I think you have got a right to complain to a certain extent that you maybe didn't make a few more signings in the window. I'm just going to try and put that down a little bit slightly. Don't think he's going to do that. Long ball over the top here. Come towards Bamford. Takes a touchdown in the end. I think it was going to be given as offside. It has done, yeah, but there is an instance of when the linesman hasn't necessarily put up the flag straight away, but eventually Bamford's shot was miles off target. But that is a danger sign of this Leeds team. And going back to what you were saying before, Tubbs, I completely agree with you. I think that this Leeds team is really strong. You know, they are a hard-working side. We saw last season, you know, finished mid-table very respectively. They're only a few points off European football at one stage. And I think they've got enough class about them again to finish quite respectively well mid-table in the Premier League. I think I did a prediction at the start of the season on my phone, and I think I put them 10th, which for me is probably about right. I think they've got a good enough squad to do it. Although, again, you know, as I said earlier, I think they are missing a few players that they could have signed in this window as Leeds come forward again here. Jack Harrison on the right-hand side. Ball play to Dallas. Back to Harrison again. Back heel from Firpo, who'd made a marauding run forward, but he's not going to get there in the end, and Liverpool will look to hit on the break here. Mohamed Salah on the right-hand side up against Phillips has done really well to shrug the English international off the ball. He's gone down here, Salah. But the referee's not going to give him a free kick. And I will have to say that's the right decision there from the ref. Really good work from Phillips. And now it's Leeds on the counter. To the counter. Rafinha is inside the box on the right wing. He's going to lay it off. Brilliant chance from Dallas. And a simple save from Alisson. He's going to come back to Leeds again. Rafinha trying to flick the ball into the box towards Bamford. He's miskicked it. And I tell you what a start to this game. First 5 minutes is end-to-end as Liverpool come forward now. Here we go. It's going to be Harvey Elliott this time. Ball played into Sadio Mane. Back to Elliott again, but Mane's pass is a little bit too heavy. And we just get a bit of a chance to breathe here, because this has been a very lively first 5 minutes. But a really bright early chance, and apologies for saying it was Dallas earlier. It was actually Rodrigo, who, I've got to say, he probably has to score. He's gone towards the middle of the goal there. Alisson with what for him will be a very, very easy save. And in the end, we know, obviously, Rodrigo lacking a little bit of the confidence since moving from Valencia. You know, I remember saying, actually, last season, when he did sign for them from Valencia, I was really excited to see what he could bring to the Premier League. He got a brilliant record in La Liga, scoring goals for Valencia, left, right and centre. And I was hoping that when he was going to come to the Premier League, he was going to light it up for Leeds. But he hasn't. In fact, I can't really remember many times where he's put the ball in the back of the net for Leeds, if I'm being honest with you. If anybody knows his record as a Leeds player goals-wise, then do give me a heads up, because I would have probably said he's maybe scored 3 or 4 goals as a Leeds player. In fact, I'm going to look at it now and to see how many goals he scored, because I don't think it's too many. But if you do want to sync up, I'm going to stop for a second because Mane's in the box here. Good clearance away by Cooper. But if you do want to link up with us, oh, big chance there for Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right hand side. Whips a really good ball into the box. It completely misses everyone and was very, very close to actually getting towards the goal. And we know what Trent can do. World class right back. For me, the best right back in world football. And he was kind of dinked the ball towards Jota, who just stops his run. If he'd have kept his run going there, I think Jota might have had the chance to have maybe got the ball in the back of there. But looking at Rodrigo's record, he scored 7 goals in 26 games for Leeds. Which, when you look at it in that respect, depending on what you class him as, whether he's classed as a number 10, a false 9, whatever you want to class him as, isn't the worst record in the world. But I would probably say he's a striker. Not good enough record for me. 1 goal every roughly about 3 or 4 games, which he has to do better. But here's Mane on the right hand side. Dinks the ball into the box. Easily caught by Meliet. And Leeds will look to try and just calm the play down for a second here. And rightly so, because this has been a very, very lively first 10 or so minutes to the game. As Carl did predict a 2-2 draw for this match. I think we're all expecting goals in this one, and rightly so. Of course, Leeds actually, I'm pretty sure they were the highest, the most goals scored by a promoted team in Premier League history, as you would expect from a team that pretty much plays the definition of murder ball. Going to be a throw in here for Liverpool on the halfway line. But just going off the Leeds-Liverpool game for a second. I mean, it's been that long since we've been live on the channel. What a crazy, crazy few months we've had. You know, it was only a few months ago where we had the Italy-England game. Who would have thought, in the space of time where we've been live with a watch-along, that Messi, Ronaldo, Lukaku, I'm trying to think of a couple of other players, Grealish, would have all left and moved on. Mbappe was, days away from a potential Real Madrid move. It's been such a bizarre few months in football. I can't believe it. I mean, definitely the best window we've ever had in football history. I don't think there's ever been a window like that in football where so many players had moved and gone on to different things. But chance here for Liverpool. Free kick taken on the right-hand side. Whipped in by Trent. Blocked in the end. And it's going to come all the way back to Thiago at the halfway line. And Liverpool just going to have to go all the way back to Alisson here. But what a crazy window. I was watching the game yesterday on the side with Man United up against Newcastle. 4-1 win, of course. It was absolutely bonkers seeing Ronaldo back in a United shirt. Because, look, I can sit here and say, as a neutral fan of football, I think on the inside, I was very excited for Ronaldo to go back. Because, at the end of the day, when Ronaldo was at United, I was 7, 8 years old. So I don't have much of a massive memory. Because I'll be honest with you, as a 7, 8-year-old, I wasn't really a football fan. I got into it a little bit later on when I was a bit older. So I didn't really get to see much of Ronaldo in a United shirt in his first stint. As Mane goes for an effort from outside the box, slight deflection on the shot from Cooper. It's going to be a corner here for Liverpool. And a decent little chance. Leeds living a little bit dangerously, I would say, in this first 10 or so minutes. Liverpool just starting to get a bit of a rhythm into this game. But yeah, just going back to the point I was making before, it's bonkers, isn't it? As a neutral fan now, seeing Ronaldo back in United shirt, scoring yesterday, of course, everyone doing the C celebration. It was just as a neutral, there's a part of me that just loves it. And I mean, for KD, of course, as a Ronaldo fan and a United fan, he's absolutely loving life. The corner taken for Liverpool, going to come straight back out, cleared away by Leeds, and by Llorente specifically. Liverpool going to get the ball back, all the way back to Alisson, who's going to hoof the ball up the pitch. And Liverpool will look to come forward again. I think they've got a chance today, Liverpool, to go second in the league. Man United currently sat first, I'm pretty sure, unless anything's changed. I don't think it has. But we are going to get the first yellow card of the game. First yellow card going to go to the captain, Liam Cooper for Leeds. Trying to get tight to Mane. Eventually pulls the Senegalese forward down. And goes into the book after 12 minutes. Not necessarily what you want as a Leeds fan in the first 12 minutes of the game. So chance here for Liverpool on the free kick. Just outside of the box. There's only one man stood over it. I don't think he's going to have any form of conversation with any other player on the pitch to whether or not he's allowed to take this. I'm pretty sure he's always going to be taking free kicks. I would probably say about 35 yards out. Probably not one to be shot at goal. Yeah, it's going to be whipped in by Alexander-Arnold, but really, really poor. No one there in the end. And Leeds have a chance to breathe as he goes out of play for a goal kick. And you can quite clearly see Klopp not probably impressed in terms of the final third by Liverpool. I don't think they've been good enough as of yet there. Still a lot of work to be done. But so far, so good for Leeds, who have kept Liverpool fairly at bay so far, even if they've just started to get a little bit of a foothold in this match, as Tubbs did put earlier. Bielsa has his ice bucket ready. Nothing changes in the world of Bielsa, does it, in terms of his ice bucket? But here come Leeds. Could be a chance for Bamford. And it wasn't the best of passes in the world by Calvin Phillips. Just a little bit too heavy with the pass. But I think Bamford, had that pass been really intricately placed towards the forward, I think we could have had the chance for maybe a goal there for Leeds. As Leeds just have a little bit of a moment of nerves there themselves. It was a pass that had very nearly landed at the feet of Mane, who wasn't too far away from the Leeds goal. Melier coming out and eventually booting the ball away. But again, just become a little bit more end-to-end in these last 2 or 3 minutes. As we are still waiting for the first goal of the season on the Sports Corner. And the first goal of the match at Ellen Road today. Would definitely love to go to Ellen Road at some point. Go and watch a match of Leeds. As there's a chance here for Jota. Brilliant chance. But not powerful enough to beat Melier. And that would have been a corker of a goal. It was a chance on the right wing. It was Mohamed Salah. Noticed a little bit of space there for Jota inside the box. He dinks the ball into the middle of the box. Jota just chests it down. And he's stretching to, hit the shot on the volley. Eventually, not the greatest effort in the world. And in the end, a simple save for Melier as Fabinho has gone into the book. I don't know why, because I didn't get to see the foul. But yeah, we've seen the foul now. Right decision. Tackle on Rodrigo. Does clip the... quite heavily clips Rodrigo, in fact. And a yellow card given to Fabinho, 1 apiece. In the cards department. As Carl's put, I'm happy Ronaldo is back at Man United, in my opinion. We still won't win the Premier League, Champions League. And 1 is a must, in my opinion. Otherwise, it's another failed season. I think you've got to win 1 of them. I think there's a part of me that feels like you could win the league. But I think it'd be a very reminiscent of the Liverpool side of old. Score more than your opponent. I think you've got enough players attacking-wise to do that. You've got Rashford still to come back. Martial, who hopefully starts to get a bit of form again. I think he looked all right over the last few weeks. There's a chance here now for Leeds. Going to stop for a second. It's Bamford on the right wing. No flag gone up yet. I think it might do in a second. Bamford tries to dink a ball towards Jack Harrison on the left-hand side. It's a little bit too heavy, but Harrison has done well to get the ball. Plays it to Firpo. Dinks the ball into the box. There's going to be no one there. Eventually it comes to the right-hand side towards Luke Ayling. And it's going to be a throw-in for Leeds just towards the right corner flag. And there's still an opportunity here for them to build up and maybe get themselves a goal. And take the lead in this game. In fact, no, it's not gone Leeds' way. Sorry, it's gone Liverpool's way. So it's alright. Liverpool just saved for another day. But going back to your point again, Kyle, I think you've got to win something this season. I think, as I said, for me, the score more approach might come handy. I thought that game against Newcastle, I didn't really get to watch much of it. But, that team with Ronaldo is a different team completely. Take Ronaldo out of it. And I think some teams look at that and think he's beatable. Put Ronaldo in it. And you've got a mentality monster, a god amongst men, I think you could say, in terms of the nature of his attacking mentality and the way that he, trains as a player. I know they always bang on about the fact that he's got the body of a 20-odd-year-old, or not a 20-odd-year-old, but a 25-year-old or something like that. It's just monstrous physical ability that he's got, and obviously mentally as well, the way that he thinks about football, the way he wants to win everything, his mentality is something that United have needed for a while. But I'm going to stop for a second because Firpo's in the box. He's going to take the shot on. Blocked by Mane. Liverpool trying to hit on the break, but Firpo's got the ball back and Leeds on the attack again. Going to be on the right-hand side with Ayling. Ball fist towards Rodrigo, takes a heavy touch, and in the end Van Dijk beats him to it. And another chance that goes wide of the mark for Leeds. But going back to the Ronaldo point again, I really do think Ronaldo and his mentality and what he brings to the game will help Manchester United massively. As Salah's in the box here. Chance for Mane from outside the box. Slight deflection on the ball. And it's going to be a corner for Liverpool. I have to say as well, not just talking about Ronaldo, but Varane as well. I think Varane is another player who, at the back, he's certainly going to bring a lot of experience, a lot of wisdom, you know, a winning mentality. Being with Ronaldo, again, that helps massively. Both of them winning multiple Champions League trophies and La Ligas and that with Ancelotti and Zidane and that in the past. I really do think that those two players are going to be the key to potential United success. Corner though for Liverpool here, lobbed into the box by Trent to absolutely no one. And the corner is eventually going to find itself all the way back to the halfway line with Andy Robertson. Can we get an opening goal in this game yet? 20 minutes in nearly. And it is still 0-0 as Dimsky is in the building. How are we doing, Dimsky? You're good, mate. He said, back in the house. Been a while. Loving the new layout. Good to see you. I'm glad you're all good, Dimsky. Hope you're well, mate. And yeah, thank you very much. I've been sorting out the layouts all day long. Stop for a second, though, because Liverpool are in here. Trent plays it towards Salah. And there's the first goal of the season on the Sports Corner. Who else but Mohamed Salah, who toe pokes the 100 club in the Premier League with a simple finish. And that is a man who will go down in Liverpool folklore. He might not be appreciated by many. There's always been that ongoing debate in the past of whether Salah would be good enough in other teams, whether he's been better than Prime Hazard or whatever you want to say. But this is a man who oozes class. And finally joins the 100 club in the Premier League. 1-0 Liverpool. What a simple finish. Trent Alexander-Arnold with the assist on the right-hand side. And you just know whenever Trent whips a ball into the box that almost 9 times out of 10 that ball is going to reach someone and they're going to have at least a chance on goal. And it's a brilliant, simple finish for Mohamed Salah. And he finally gets his 100th Premier League goal. And as I said earlier, I feel like Salah does get disrespected quite a lot in the game. But what he's brought to Liverpool since joining that club years ago is something that, you know, Liverpool, I think, were missing for a long time before that. You know, there was the period in, you know, the early 2010s where they had Torres and Suarez and Sturridge, but I think there was that certain stage of where was the next big thing going to come from in terms of an attacking forward. And when Salah came in, I don't think people expected him to be the player that he's become. But my lord, he's been brilliant, hasn't he, since he joined Liverpool a few years ago. And it's 1-0 to Liverpool. And I don't think this game is going to be quite done yet. I think there's going to be a few more goals to come. I am melting with the lights on. But as we were saying before, again, thank you very much, Dimsko. You're doing good, mate. And as I said, yes, we have changed up the overlays. We've got some very nice ones to come in the future. As you can see, we will keep changing them as we go along in the future. We've got different layouts for each league. Been making them today, keeping myself nice and busy. I've always said I like to change things up each season, make it look a little bit more cleaner. And hopefully it does look cleaner for you guys as Liverpool look to get the second in the game. Ball from Fabinho, lofted all the way to Salah, who somehow has kept that ball in play. I don't know how he's done it. Really, really good work from the Egyptian. Going to play the ball to Harvey Elliott. But good defending in the end by Cooper. to get the ball away from his goal. As Dimsky's put in the chat, he predicts Liverpool to win 3-1. Not bad. I think a lot of people are expecting Liverpool to win this, and obviously you can understand why. You know, massive favourites this season in terms of the Premier League title race. Although saying that, we could be on course for probably the closest title race we've had in years. I'm saying years, probably 2 or 3 at the very least. We had Liverpool and City, didn't we, a few years ago. But hopefully a more open one, rather than 2 teams. But here's Salah on the right wing, trying to take on Junior Firpo, who has had all sorts of problems coming up against, pretty much, you could kind of say 2 players on the right-hand side. He's got to put up with Trent and Salah, which, you know, in itself is a bit of a task when you come up against Salah. So to have Trent on you as well is always going to be a nightmare to try and defend 2 players at once. But he's done, I'd say, a fairly decent job. He has conceded, technically speaking, but I think he's done partial all right. Here's Salah, though, now, saying that. He's on the right wing, just outside of the box. Ball flicked towards the near post, and that's a brilliant finish. But it's offside, and it won't count. Oh, so unlucky, because that was a brilliant ball from Salah towards Thiago at the near post. Would have been some goal, this, but yeah, you can just see, actually, the linesman obviously playing on with the rules. Really good ball from Salah at the near post towards Thiago, but in the end, right decision from the linesman. He flags it as offside, and rightly so, and unfortunately, what would have been a very, very nice goal isn't going to count, unfortunately. And Leeds do live for another day, for now. Because it could have been 2-0 after 25 minutes, but I think Leeds here are going to have to sort themselves out very quickly here, because as this game goes on, they just know that Liverpool are going to keep coming at them. And they're coming again here. Ball towards Salah. It's not going to get to him, but Jota's got it. And he's going to keep going here, Jota, on the right wing. He's got Mane in the box. He's going to go all the way. He lays it off to Mane, and oh! I mean, the ball wasn't the best from Jota, I've got to say. I don't think it matters what the ball is to Jota there. I think he's got to score. That's a really, really terrible miss from Mane. He's probably about 5 yards out. But he did so well, Jota. And I'll tell you something, I don't care actually. I think that's a decent ball from Jota. He just runs down the right wing inside the box. Melier's already on the left-hand side of his post. Mane, he's literally sat at the other side of the post. Yes, it's a powerful pass from him, but in the end, that's a really poor miss from Mane. But Liverpool coming forward again here. Thiago at the edge of the box. Tries to take on the shot. He's deflected by Dallas. Going to come back to Liverpool again here. Jota on the left wing this time. Played back into the middle towards Salah. Now Robertson. Elliott with the shot from inside the box. Deflected, still comes to Elliott. Takes on another shot. Good save from Melier. And Leeds are living dangerously, as Harvey Elliott has 2 very, very key opportunities in this game to put Liverpool 2 to the good. And I mean, there was a few calls for handballs on Liam Cooper. Don't really think that would have been much of a handball shout anyway, if I'm being honest with you. Don't think you can really give it when he's that close to his man. But for now, it is still only 1-0 to Liverpool, as they get themselves a corner here. As Sean is in the building. How are you doing, Sean? So corner lofted into the box. Free header for Van Dijk. And he doesn't really get much on it, to be honest with you. Really poor from Van Dijk. Incredible cross from Trent. He's given all the space in the world there, Van Dijk, to put the ball into the back of the net. But I just don't think he gets enough on it. Be another corner again, though, here for Liverpool. Trent with the cross. Not going to come to anyone this time. Cleared away by Leeds, who are living immaculately dangerously now. And that corner, once again, for Liverpool will find itself going all the way back to Alisson. And you can see the space here for Liverpool as they drive forward. I remember what Ole said, in fact, if you watched Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's press conference when they played Liverpool. Sorry, not Liverpool. Leeds in the first game of the season. I think he said something. Whenever you play Leeds, it's a one-off match when you play them, and I think he's spot on, because the way that Leeds play, the amount of space that they give you, I don't think any other team in the league gives you that amount of space. And obviously Liverpool trying to exploit as much of that as they possibly can. And I've got to say, they're living really dangerously here, and I don't think it really matters saying that Leeds, need to change system or keep tighter, because they never will do that. They're always going to pretty much stay and play the system that they've been told to. They never really change up tactics or, get closer to each other and keep the players tightly marked. I think they are a side that allow you to have much more space than other teams do. And obviously for Liverpool, I think they are one of the teams, probably them and Manchester City, the two teams that are more likely to make the most of the space when you give it to them. And they've done that so far, Liverpool. As Sean has predicted in the chat, it's gone 2-0 Liverpool, and how Hamilton's head wasn't squashed from earlier. I saw that. I mean, he's a very, very lucky man that his head wasn't absolutely obliterated from that tyre. Because, I don't know how he ducked in his car. Obviously, I haven't got much space in an F1 car, but he's done very well. As there's a long ball here for Bamford. Lays it down to Rodrigo at the edge of the box. Tries to get it back towards Bamford, who takes a really heavy touch. And again, another chance there for Leeds that hasn't been taken. And again, just a little bit too heavy in terms of the touch from Patrick Bamford. I've got to say, his movement's been really, really good in the first half an hour. Just hasn't been able to get a decent enough touch of the ball. And it's always in that final third for Bamford so far in this game, where he's just lacked that perfect touch which could get him in behind the two centre-backs and have the chance. And talking about getting in behind here, there's going to be a chance here for Liverpool on a free kick. Another yellow card coming out here for Leeds. This time it's going to be Diego Llorente going into the box. That is both of the centre-backs now on yellow cards. If I was you, I would probably get yourself a bet on for one of these two guys to get a red card at the back, because so far he's a little bit scrappy, but here comes Leeds on the attack. It's a 4v4. Numbers pushing forwards for Leeds. Harrison taking his time with the ball. It's a long ball up towards Junior Firpo. Doesn't get a touch in the end. Phillips tries to get the ball back. Poor touch. Giving it to Mane, who can now lead Liverpool on the counter-attack. It's going to be Salah on the right wing. Lays it off for Mane. Goes for the shot from long range. And that was a testing effort for Melier in the goal, but it just goes wide of the mark. And another chance for Liverpool. And another chance for Mane, who could have probably had two in this game. I think this one is a little bit too far out for him. If you're watching it live, takes it on from about 20 yards out. Always curling away from the goal, but I think it looks like we're going to have a change here for Leeds. And literally, I was just saying about one of the two centre-backs maybe getting sent off. I think it does look like one of these centre-backs is going to be coming off, but with an injury, and it's Diego Llorente's gone down. Looks like his hamstring's gone. Actually went last year, I'm pretty sure. He had an injury last year, didn't he? Which kept him out for quite a while. But he's just gone down here. And it looks like we are going to have a change, unfortunately, for Leeds. Just seeing James Milner warm up in front of the Leeds fans. Of course, one of the players that I think will definitely get applauded by both sets of fans today. As Tubb saying, Leeds are the Freiburg of the Prem. Yeah, I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, Freiburg, I think they're doing quite alright, aren't they, in the Bundesliga this season, Freiburg? Pretty sure they're in the top four when I last checked. Maybe they've fallen away a little bit since then, but I know they had a very good start to the season in the Bundesliga, because when I checked before, as I said, they were, I think they're in the top two at one point. I know we're only like 4 or 5 games in, but it's early days, isn't it? But we are going to have that exchange for Leeds then. It's going to be Pascal Struijk coming on here for Diego Llorente. We'll change that up. There we go. This is the great thing now about doing this live. Boosh. We could change it now so it says Struik instead of Llorente. Great, isn't it? Dimsky has asked, is Firmino injured? Yes, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if it's injury, or I don't know whether it's because of the international ruling and that. Obviously, there's the whole shenanigans going on with Brazilian and Argentinian players. Basically, anyone who's South American who'd gone on international duty. It was the COVID stuff that was going on with them. About them quarantining and things like that. I don't know whether it's because the decision was made last minute and Firmino's not fully fit, or whether he's injured or not. I would presume injury, because I would have thought if he wasn't injured, he would have been on the bench today, and he's not. Minamino's not on the bench either, or Origi. So it's not like Liverpool have actually got a forward on the bench that could come on and give Firmino a full break. But this is a chance here for Liverpool to come forward. Salah with a long ball towards Trent. It's not going to get to him. And Leeds trying to hit on the break here. It's going to be Harrison, who tries to feed his own long ball towards Rodrigo. And in the end, his pass doesn't come off either. And it looks like this game's just going to fizzle out a little bit here. That first 10 or so minutes was very good. But we're just waiting for another big chance in this game. It's being played really in the middle of the park over the last 5 minutes or so. Both teams just not doing too bad at the back, I'd have to say. Liverpool with a little bit more possession than Leeds, but I think you could say it's only a matter of time before the next goal goes in. I'm not going to say for who, but we'll have to see. As Sean was saying about the FIFA ban, I honestly have no idea what the hell was going on with that ban. I mean, the whole thing with the Brazil-Argentina game was nuts. And I'd like to think to a certain extent that Brazil did that on purpose. And they purposely got one of the health officials to come out to that game just to make sure it was disrupted. Wouldn't surprise me in the slightest if they had. But I think it's one of those, isn't it, where I just think it's a mess, isn't it? It's an absolute mess with all of the international stuff going on. Obviously, South Americans, I think there was something going on with Cavani as well, wasn't there? Where I think if he went out, he wanted to go out and play. They were trying to tell him he couldn't. And then Uruguay basically said to him, you can't go. Some shenanigans like that. It's awful, isn't it? Because when you think about it, if somebody wants to go on international duty and they were having to do, I think it's 10 days of quarantining, then I'm pretty sure you would miss about 10 games of the season, which is just absolutely ludicrous. And I think every player has got their right to go and play internationally. You know, they always say that it's an honour to go and play for your country. And, you know, those players that do go on international duty, they're not just going for friendlies. It's big qualifiers for the World Cup. So it's not like they're just going for friendly games. You know, these are big games, trying to get your country to a World Cup. And look, you know, fair dues, Brazil and Argentina, they are the teams that will always make it there. But at the end of the day, he's playing for your team, and I think every player has a right to go. But it's just such a mess with quarantine and the COVID and things like that. And I think it's just one of those where, depending on what happens with the next international break, that needs to get sorted out very quickly. Because if we go into the next international break and we're sat there and nothing's been sorted, and teams are stuck in limbo once again on what the rules are and who can go out and who can't, then it's just an absolute mess. And it already is a mess, to be fair, but it could be even more of a mess depending on what goes on when we get to October, November time, and we have that second international break which comes. But who knows what's going to happen? You know, at the end of the day, we've just got to enjoy club football now. It's back for a few weeks. We can worry about international football again later on, because obviously, usually, we don't really do much on international football on this channel. Not really going to do anything with qualifiers because we're too far into it to really care. But yeah, it's just a big mess, isn't it, right now? As we're just going for a little bit of spell here, as I said. It's gone a little bit quiet. Not many chances for either of the two sides. A lot of possession in the midfield. Although saying that, it could be a chance for Salah. Plays the ball towards the edge of the box towards Elliott, who's got a chance on goal, and it's, I think, just the post. Or the side of it at the very least. Just want to see the chance again, whether it hits the post or not, or whether it just simmers past it. I mean, it's a good chance for him from outside the box, and no, it doesn't hit the post in the end. It looked like it did, but unfortunately, just wide of the mark there for Harvey Elliott. And another good chance for the youngster as Liverpool look to come forward again. Jota at the edge of the box. He goes for a shot of his own. Could be blocked by Pascal Struijk. And Leeds on the counter-attack. Ball hit long towards Rafinha. Got plenty of space on the right-hand side. What can the tricky Brazilian winger do? Tries to lure the ball out to Harrison on the far left. Good defending in the end by Van Dijk. And Liverpool looking to come forward on their own counter-attack. As the game just comes to life again here. It's going to be Jota. He's got nobody to pass towards. He believes he should get a free kick at the edge of the box. And I think the referee has just agreed with him. And the referee has given a free kick, I believe, right at the edge of the box here for Liverpool. And maybe a little bit of an opportunity to get a goal before half-time and make it 2 to the good. We will have to see whether or not they can make the most of it. But Dimsky saying, did you see the wonderful Emma Raducanu match last night? I'm not going to lie, I didn't. I was watching the World Cup of Darts, because that's on. But a brilliant story, isn't it? 18-year-old, ranked 150th odd in the world. Had all that stuff going on a couple of months ago. Or I can't remember when it was, with Piers Morgan and John McEnroe. Comes out to this tournament, pretty much obliterates everybody she plays, and goes home with a nice, tasty £1 million+ in the bank. Alright for some, isn't it, as an 18-year-old? I'm pretty sure I saw something on Twitter this January. She was tweeting out what's happening with A-levels. I'm pretty sure you don't need to care about those anymore. You've just got yourself a couple of million in the bank now. Alright, for someone of 18, got a long way to go in her career, but yeah, wonderful, wonderful win. I just don't like how the story is. It's always been centred towards, British winner, and obviously always saying about the different countries that I can't really think of the word, but the dual nationality, that's it. The dual nationalities that she's got of I think it's Romanian and Chinese and English. It's just appreciate her for the player that she is. But free kick here anyway for Liverpool. Trent Alexander-Arnold from outside the box. It's going to be blocked in the end and cleared away for a throw-in for Liverpool. Not the best of free kicks from Trent. And a simple clearance away by Patrick Bamford. As we go into the last 4 minutes of this game. Looks like it's going to be ending Liverpool 1, Leeds 0 at half-time. Unless we can have one last opportunity before the end of the first half. Certainly not been a bad game, has it? We've had a few opportunities for both sides in this match. As you would expect, for two teams who love to attack. But I just think, for the neutral, you probably want a Leeds equaliser to make this even more interesting. Although there could be a chance here. Jota on his toes there. Salah with a long ball which was deflected. Goes into the hands of Melier. As I said, Jota keeping himself well aware of the opportunity. But just seeing now the attempts in the game. There's been 12 attempts for Liverpool. Only 1 for Leeds. You know, I think Leeds have got to try and get themselves a few more opportunities in this game. Not really done much in terms of the final third yet. I think Bamford has looked quite lively, just hasn't had many opportunities himself. Quite a few fairly bad first touches, if I'm being honest with you. That's been his problem when it comes to the final third. Rafinha's been fairly quiet as well. And usually, when Rafinha's quiet, the rest of the team is. You know, he seems to be the man that kind of Leeds look to as the one that can really get things going for Leeds. Although saying that, here might be a chance for Liverpool. Harvey Elliott trying to feed the ball towards Jota, who's just outside the edge of the box, and this might now lead, to a Leeds counter-attack. It's going to be Phillips down the side to Rodrigo on the left wing. Tries to drill a ball into the box. Comes back to him again after deflection from Trent. Ball lobbed towards the near post. Comes towards Alien, who tries to get a header on it. Headed away by Robertson. But Leeds going to come back again. Rodrigo, ball into the box and Ailing at the far post. But his shot is high and wide, and I think in the end there, he's probably thinking to himself, why did I not head this ball? I think if he'd have got a header on this, it would have been on target. He goes for the shot instead. I think he tries to just dink the ball. In fact, he eventually touches the ball with his knee. And in the end, I think had he have just headed the ball, he would have had that probably on target at the very least. As Liverpool going to get another free kick here. As Diraj is in the building. How are you doing, mate? Hope you're all good. Welcome back to the channel. Hope you're all good. Now the season is in full swing. And we're back again. Don't forget, as we always say on the channel, if you are new to the stream and you have enjoyed it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscription. We'll tell you some of the stuff that's coming up a little bit later on when we get to half time. Obviously, we are slowly getting back to normal on the channel. We're just waiting for everybody to get the streaming services and the equipment and that they need to stream again. We'll have the rest of the guys back later this week. KL and Will probably won't be joining us until October. But free kick here for Liverpool. It's come towards Salah in the box. He goes down. No cause for a penalty. And it's desperately cleared away by Leeds. And I think it's going to go out of play for a Liverpool throw-in towards the left corner flag. And maybe just one more chance here before half-time. I don't think there's going to be a great deal of additional time added on. Probably a minute at tops, maybe two, because of the Llorente injury. Is there time for maybe one more chance in this game? We are into 2 minutes of additional time, so I was right with that. Obviously, Diego Llorente coming off, a few yellow cards here and there, kind of breaking up the play slightly. But is there time for one more goal in this game? Preferably, as I said, if you're a neutral, you want it to go to Leeds. If you are a Liverpool fan, you want a second just to kind of kill this game off slightly. But you can never really tell with Bielsa what he's feeling. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he'll be quite happy with how his side have played. They've had a few chances here and there. Only one real effort to talk about. But to keep Liverpool 1-0 and to keep them at bay in terms of not really being a hefty scoreline, I think for Leeds, you're looking at it and thinking you've done all right. Although saying that, it might be jinxed here because Mane is dancing into the box. He goes down. Referee waves away any cause of a penalty, and rightly so. And Mane quickly gets back up to his feet. No complaints from him either. As play will continue with about 45 seconds left of the first half. I'll be glad to turn the light off for a few minutes because it is quite warm in this room when you've got a light pretty much shining at your face. But at half-time, we will, of course, very quickly talk about the game overall. We'll look at the stats of the match. And then, of course, we'll talk about what's coming up on the channel. Before we have a break, a little interval, and a bit of time for you guys to grab yourself a coffee or whatever you drink these days and get yourself ready for the second half. As it looks like we're probably going to have the whistle blown in about 10 seconds. The ball is in the hands of Melier. And I'm pretty sure his kick will be the last thing. In fact, he won't even be able to kick the ball out because that will be the end of the first half. And Mo Salah is the man to talk about at the break at half-time because his goal, his 100th Premier League goal, is the only goal of the match so far. And there's been a few decent chances in the first half to talk about for Liverpool. One of them was an effort which I think Mane should have put the ball into the back of the net. It was politely a sitter, in my opinion. It was a really heavy ball from Jota, to be fair to him. But even then, I think all he's got to do is pretty much get a toe on it and it's into the back of the net. Another chance as well, a corner from Van Dijk. It was a pretty much an open header for Van Dijk, which he didn't really make the most of in the end. And again, another chance for Liverpool that wasn't put into the back of the net. In terms of Leeds, they've only had one chance on target in the game so far. There was that effort from Luke Ayling from the corner, which, had he headed rather than tried to knee into the back of the net, I think he would have had that on target. Bamford has looked lively at points. I think his first touch has been a little bit poor in the final third and has cost him a few pretty decent chances in this game. But overall, I think a Liverpool 1-0 lead is fairly deserved at the break. And as I said just before half-time, I think Leeds United will be looking at it and thinking the scoreline isn't too heavy. They are still well and truly in this game. We know what they can do. They are one of the high-scoring sides usually in the league in terms of that mid-table section. They will have more chances before the end of the game. So that doesn't mean necessarily that this game is done and dusted yet. And I think for Liverpool, 1-0 lead is good. But I think Klopp will still be frustrated that they're not 2 or 3-0 up at half-time. They could have had plenty more before the end of the first half. But we'll talk a little bit more about the game when the players do come back out. And when we do get back into the second half, of course, we'll look at the benches as well and see who could potentially come on in the second half. But don't forget, as always, as I was saying a few minutes ago, I'm not going to repeat myself as much as I did last season with it. But if you are new to the stream, as always, then don't forget to leave a like and a subscription on the channel. We are now back for the season. Our break is done and dusted. We won't have as many watch-alongs as we did last year. Of course, being in lockdown for a large part of 2020 and 2021 didn't mean we had, or meant at least that we had more opportunities to do lots more watch-alongs. So there won't be as many this season as we had last year, but there are plenty more to come. And this is what's to come up on the channel over the next few days. You can join us for the Champions League. That is back on Tuesday. You can join myself, Katie and Rowan for the Tuesday and the Wednesday games from 10 to 8. We'll be covering all the matches from the Champions League, as well as the Europa League and the newly formed Conference League. You can join myself and Rowan for the early games from 5:35, and then you can join KD and probably myself for the 8 o'clock kickoffs. That is, of course, on Thursday. We will have both competitions covered. One of us is going to cover the Europa League, and one of us is going to cover the newly formed Conference League. So the goal shows are going to be fairly hectic from now on, because we've got, you could say, like an added 15, 20 plus games to what we had from last year. So it is going to be fairly bonkers when it comes to the goal shows, which is not a bad thing, because I'm pretty sure we had a fair few goal shows last year which were pretty quiet. But when you've got 2 times the amount of games, it should mean they're fairly busy from now on, which is not a bad thing at all. But yeah, we will be covering the whole of the Champions League, the Europa League and the Conference League, like we did last year. They are going to be watch-alongs that we do every single match day. But as I said before, the league-wise, we'll have all of the different leagues coming in the near future. Serie A, La Liga, Liga, and they're all going to be back as well. In terms of the solo watch-alongs, I don't know when the other guys will be doing solo watch-alongs. Probably more likely they'll be doing solo ones probably at the end of September, October time, when we're back in our usual accommodation. Bit more easier in terms of the setup for those guys. But for me, at the very least, there'll be plenty more watch-alongs to come over the next couple of weeks. I know next weekend I can't do any watch-alongs at the weekend because I'm not here. I'm out with my partner. But after that, we'll probably have a few ones midweek when the Champions League isn't on at the very least. So plenty more to come in terms of content on the channel. And don't forget as well, you can check out social media links. Oh, there we go. It froze for a second there. I was a little bit worried my stream had crashed for a second. I thought I'd killed it. Now, there you go. They are the social media links on the screen, as always. If you do want to go and check them out, our Twitter is at @_topcorner. And our Instagram is _sportscorner_. We're going to be using Instagram a little bit more this season. So you guys know when we do go live on the YouTube channel. But I would always say the main place to see what content is coming up and when is the Sports Corner's Twitter. Link is in the chat with Kyle and in the description as always. And then we've got our website, which is thesports-corner.com. Not being used as much, to be honest with you, but we'll probably see if we can get some things on there in the near future. So do go and check those out if you haven't already. But we are at half-time of this game between Leeds and Liverpool. It is 1-0 to Liverpool as it stands. We're going to take probably about a 5 or 10 minute break. For those of you that want to get yourself a cup of coffee or take a quick toilet break. But yeah, we'll put ourselves on the opening screen, but do not go anywhere. We'll be back in about 5 or 10 minutes time for the second half. Put your predictions in for the second half. I'll read them out at half time. But as it stands, it is Liverpool 1, Leeds 0. I will see you very, very shortly for the second half. Thank you for those of you guys that have waited. Welcome back to the Sports Corner. We are live for today's watch along. Leeds United taking on Liverpool. It is half time as we speak. Mohamed Salah with his 100th Premier League goal. That puts him now the fifth fastest to 100 Premier League goals. He did it in 162 games, which is a staggering start. That's quicker than Ian Wright and Robbie Fowler. But apart from that, that is the only goal of the game. But if you're a Liverpool fan, it's been all quite positive, to be fair, in terms of the attacking intent. Lots of opportunities, as you would expect. Robbie Fowler in the crowd, having a few pictures with Leeds fans, which is nice to see. He must be enjoying his time out in Leeds today. If you are a Leeds fan, however, I think you will also be fairly happy to a certain extent that you're not actually down by about 3, 4 or 5. There've been plenty of other opportunities in the game which Liverpool could have took. The biggest chance, I think, to talk about was the effort, no doubt, from Mr. Sadio Mane, which was an absolutely brilliant effort on goal. It was a chance which he probably should have scored, if I'm going to be honest with you. I am going to turn that light on in a second so it doesn't look all frazzled in the background. As I said, if I had a little bit better lighting in this room, then I'd be alright and be able to use that constantly without having the light on it looking really, really awkward. But both players, both sets of players at least, coming back out for the second half of this match. As far as I'm aware, I doubt there's going to be any changes for both of the sides. Leeds already making a change in the game. Pascal Struijk coming on for Llorente. What I'm going to try and do here, actually, give me 2 seconds, is rather than use the light, whether I can get any more light in this room by opening the windows slightly. Does that make any difference, or does that make it worse? It makes it partially better, I guess. If it's not too bad in the back with it being frazzled, I might be alright to just not have the light on for the rest of the game. But there is actually going to be another change here for Leeds, which I'm quite surprised about. It looks like Tyler Roberts is coming on. And I'm going to guess it's... Oh, Rodrigo. Okay, so Rodrigo's going off. Tyler Roberts is coming on. Interesting change. I don't know if really... Rodrigo did much in that first half, if I'm being honest with you, apart from the one little effort that he had on goal, which was a really, really poor chance. But apart from that, I think we will get a few more opportunities for Leeds in this game as we get underway with the second half of our first watch-along back on the channel this season. As I said, it was quite eerie, considering that the first Premier League game, or the first main league game actually we covered last season, was Leeds versus Liverpool, the half-4 kickoff on the 12th of September 2020. Literally a year later, we're doing the same thing again. It's deja vu, isn't it? Let's hope it's deja vu with a scoreline, because we'd have plenty of other goals to come in this match. But as I said, if the background is looking okay and it's not looking too frazzled, then do give me a heads up. If it does look a little bit dodgy in the background, then do tell me. I'll put the light back on again. It's quite warm with that light on, and it's already quite stuffy in this room. So I'm melting politely, so it's probably easier to just not melt. But yeah, no changes for Liverpool. And there is that one change, of course, which means we can actually change it. Rodrigo isn't on the pitch anymore. And that is the great thing with having the lineups on the screen now, because I can change it. And I can now put Roberts in the team. Voila, nice and easy. Tub saying, got sidetracked upstairs, I'm back. My brother is watching the Lazio Milan game. Well, actually, I could put that on at the same time if I wanted to. I'm quite lucky now. I've got, it's like a multi-screen feature type thing where I can put 2 games on at the same time, which is really cool. So that'll come in handy with the Champions League in the near future. Looking forward to that when it's on Tuesday. But what's the scoreline in that game? Because that was one I was going to have on at the same time, but I don't want to put it on and risk lagging this game out while we're doing a watch-along live. As much as I'd like to be sneaky watching 2 games at the same time, I'll put the one on for now, and yeah, I'll gamble in a few days' time with a UCL. That could be the first real test for it. Cal saying it's not too bad, to be honest, hardly noticeable. That's nice then, because as I said, that light is a little bit warm. And while we've got some actual light outside, it doesn't look too bad with the green screen up. It is Deja. It is Deja Tubbs, Josh. Deja Tubbs, that's what you could say. Deja Tubbs. But Leeds sticking with the 4-2-3-1, or the 4-5-1 as Sky are calling it. Obviously Leeds, Liverpool, sorry, with the, I'm saying distinctive 4-3-3, but the probably the best word for it is the recognisable 4-3-3 that they have played for years and years under Klopp. Don't forget, I will be about 30 seconds behind using the new streaming software this year for all the games. So try not to spoil anything in the chat. If you are watching live, as Leeds with a chance here, ball flicked into the box by Rafinha, comes toward Bamford, gets a slight touch on it, but probably with the side of his head. Tyler Roberts gets the ball back. He tries to flip the ball into the box towards Bamford, doesn't get to him, and this time it will lead Liverpool on the counter-attack. Started by Mane on the left wing. Lovely 1-2 between him and Jota. And Mane scuffed his lines, and Salah scuffs his lines as well. It should have been 2-0 to Liverpool. It really should have been 2-0. And while the referee has called for a corner, I think there's calls for a penalty. They are just checking to see whether Calvin Phillips had fouled Mane. I thought that was actually a very good challenge. But they're going to see whether or not this is going to be given as a penalty. But that should have been 2-0 to Liverpool. Even then, when Mane didn't get the initial touch on the ball, Mohamed Salah should have brought the ball in the back of the net, and he didn't. And it's not going to be a penalty either for Liverpool, so the stroke of luck that they needed isn't going to go their way. But they will get a corner here. And if they could put the ball in the back of the net and make it 2-0, then all of the discrepancies regarding that penalty shout will not be thought about in 20 seconds' time if this goes in. Corner lobbed in by Trent. Just come towards Van Dijk. Fabinho's in there, and Fabinho scores. And just like that, those discrepancies of penalties will not be worried no more, because Fabinho gets on the end of Van Dijk's scuff shot. And Liverpool, you could arguably say, I'm saying arguably, definitely get their 2-0 lead that they have thoroughly deserved. And it was the corner which was whipped in by Trent Alexander-Arnold. It comes out to Virgil van Dijk. His header, in fact, bobbles down towards Fabinho. He takes a fairly scuff shot, which is what I was saying about earlier. It comes off his knee, deflects off Bamford, comes back to Fabinho again. Very luckily comes back to him. Nice little first touch. And he slots it into the back of the net. Now, this is being checked by VAR for offside. Good luck trying to see whether or not it's classed as offside. I can't see anything there as to why it would be given as offside. I don't know whether they were seeing whether Mane was blocking anyone's vision. But that's 2-0 for me. I would be very, very, very surprised if this is disallowed by VAR, because I don't see an offside. And I don't see anyone in the way of the goalkeeper. In fact, there is nobody near him. And, as we expected, goal given. Fabinho makes it 2-0 to Liverpool. First goal since June 2020 for the Brazilian. Had a tough start to the season. Passing of his, I think it was his father. But, obviously got back into the Liverpool team. I think it was it the last Premier League game he got back into it? And a goal there for Liverpool. And as I said, a rightly deserved goal, I think you could say. They've been knocking on the door for quite a while. And Liverpool are 2 to the good now. And Leeds are going to have to do something fairly quickly here, because the longer that this game goes on, we know what Liverpool do. They don't sit back. They just know that they can keep pushing forward with the way that Leeds are. And this could get quite bad for Leeds if they don't change up. I'm saying change up, if they don't do something quick. And as I said earlier, I don't think Leeds are the team that do change things. They don't change tactics, that's for sure. They just change players. And here come Liverpool again. It's going to be Jota, about 30 yards out from goal in the middle of the pitch. Trying to get Liverpool that third goal in the game and really kill things off. Here's Fabinho. Gives the ball away. And Leeds will try and hit on the break as Tubb says that's why Bamford isn't a defender, and you are spot on. That's probably why he's not a defender. It was a not the best bit of work from him in the end. I don't think there's much he really could have done in terms of his touch. But good work there, wasn't it, from Fabinho to take that first initial touch after it bounced back to him and then take the shot in the end. Was a little chance in between, though, while I was talking about that for Bamford. Van Dijk going down very, very poorly. The referee giving a free kick for it. I don't think there was really much in it, to be honest with you. I think Van Dijk has conned the ref there. Quite convincingly as well. There was really nothing in it. It's like a tap on the shoulder from Bamford, and Van Dijk being pretty much going down to the floor as if being shot by a sniper in the stadium. Really, really poor. And I wonder whether or not had the referee played on, whether Bamford would have had a chance on goal. Because Van Dijk had already gone down. And there was no one else around him, and I thought there would have been a little bit of chance there. Either way, here comes Leeds on the attack again. I don't think it'll be too long, actually, until we see Dan James come on. I think we will see him come on at some point in this game. See if he can test this Liverpool back line. Because they haven't really tested them so far much, have they? Apart from one or two little chances here and there. Tubb saying, by the way, Josh, congrats on your first goal and win in the Prem. Oh, it's going to stop for a second because Dallas has put a lovely ball into the box. And a chance for Tyler Roberts with the header. And it's not the strongest of headers in terms of power. And probably the first save that Alisson has had to really make in this match. A very, very simple save indeed for the Brazilian. I'm very confused. First goal and win the Prem. I'm really baffled. Obviously, first goal. Of course, you mean about this game. I know what you mean now. I'm guessing you feel like Liverpool have won this one. I was very confused at first. I was like, first win? The game's not over yet, but well, the way that Leeds are usually, if another goal goes in for Liverpool, I think this one is dead and buried, if I'm being honest with you. I'm partially closer to my prediction. I would need another, 3 goals? 2 for Leeds, 1 for Liverpool. We're just seeing the Leeds fans now in the stadium. As I said, probably their first big game back in the Prem at Ellen Road with the fans. An incredible atmosphere as well. Obviously Leeds for so long, a team that have been destined to make it back to the Prem. Finally have. Here's Harrison. Ball in the box towards Roberts. And that's again another chance wasted by the Welsh international. He could have easily had 2 goals. And well, poor from Roberts. He has to do so much better with that chance. Tries to curl it towards the bottom right hand corner of Alisson's goal and completely fluffs his lines. As Tubbs says, I meant Arsenal. I don't support Arsenal, Tubbs. I think you mean KL on that one. KL is a big Arsenal fan. He loves Granit Xhaka. That's why I was baffled at first. I'm like, first goal and win? I'm confused. I'm very confused. Yeah, it's KL who's the big Arsenal fan. Absolutely loves them. Absolutely loves them indeed. Ball going to go back to Melia here. Just passing around the back now, Leeds. They've got 35 minutes left to try and get back into this match. I would probably say they need a goal within the next 15 or so minutes to really make this game interesting. They have to score next, or else I'm pretty sure that this game, as I said, will be dead and buried, and Liverpool will take it if they make it free. Looking at the bench for Liverpool today, they've got Henderson on there, and Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. No forwards. Minamino, Origi and Firmino all out. Obviously, Shaqiri left to join Lyon, so they haven't got him either anymore. So nobody there who can come on and make a difference. As Tubsport's my bad. It's alright. It's been a long time since we've been live on this channel. As Henderson is going to come on in just a moment's time, just as we talk about the subs. Alisson finding himself in a bit of an awkward position to clear his lines. Leeds trying to get the ball back with Harrison. Elliott trying to lead the counter-attack. Good defending from Pascal Struijk, who does really well. Stumbling to get the ball. Oh. Oh. Oh, well. I mean, this could be a very serious injury to Elliott. I thought he did alright at first. I mean, the reaction from Mohamed Salah, he's just turned away in disbelief. I think, I was just saying I thought that was a decent tackle. And I think Harvey Elliott was just about to come off. I think that he has just, twisted his ankle. Or broke his leg. That is not a nice one. I mean, again, I thought that was an okay tackle. Obviously, the referees hadn't called for it at first because even he had continued play. But I think the way that Elliott's gone there, I think that is a really, really nasty injury. Obviously, I'd have liked to have seen a replay, but they won't show it because of the serious nature of the injury. But that is not a good one from the looks of it. And again, as I said, it was, to me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was a bad tackle. But I think it's the way that Elliott's gone. And Klopp's just come onto the pitch here to talk to the referee. But that is not looking good at all. The stretcher obviously instantly out for Harvey Elliott here. But the reaction of Mohamed Salah is he looked and he instantly turned away. And it's a red card. Rafinha has been sent off. And they are, obviously, the Leeds players are making the... I don't think it's a red card. I'll really be honest with you. The red card's come out. I think the red card has been given to Pascal Struijk. I don't think it's a red card tackle. As I said, I thought, to be honest with you, the challenge was all right. And I think the referee thought the challenge was all right because play would have continued. And we've seen the extent of the injury. And I think maybe that's what's caused the pressure for the referee to give that as a red. But I'll be honest with you. Red card for Leeds. Pascal Struijk's been sent off. I did say I thought we would get a red card at some point. But I think that is a wrongly given red card. And obviously, as I said, we're not going to see any replays of the injury. I'd have liked to have seen a replay of the tackle to see what had fully gone on. But this could be quite a stoppage in play here. I think Struijk, obviously in disbelief here at what's gone on. Obviously, he didn't mean it. And with it being a contact sport, these things happen. We saw, obviously, Andre Gomez, when he went down a year or two ago with that very serious injury, when he did something very similar from, I think it was Son's tackle. And this is a massive, massive blow. Obviously, Harvey Elliott being such an important player for Liverpool at this early stage of the season. Been fantastic for them. And Pascal Struijk being sent off, but he's going to stay on the pitch here. But again, I just don't think that is a red card tackle. VAR checking it, apparently. And apparently VAR is going to stick with it. So Leeds down to 10 men. Struijk being sent off. And he will walk down the tunnel. But Harvey Elliott here, obviously going to have to leave on a stretcher. And this is not what you want to see in this match. A very, very serious injury. Again, I'd like to have seen a replay to have seen not the extent of the injury, the tackle itself. Because, as I said, I think initially, maybe I'm wrong, it looked to me as if the referee was going to continue play. It didn't look like at any point he was going to stop the play until he turned back. And I just think the seriousness of the injury is what has led to the red card more than anything. But Jurgen Klopp on the pitch here, just seeing how Harvey Elliott is. He's been picked up by the Leeds and Liverpool staff, and he's taken off the pitch with what is looking like a very serious injury. Hopefully nothing too serious. We've seen it in the past sometimes where players have had serious looking injuries, and it's actually turned out to not have been as serious as for. Obviously the good thing is Harvey Elliott is applauding the fans as he comes off, but hopefully, and as Carlos put in the chat, wish him a very speedy recovery, because it's something you just don't want to see in the game. And it's a shame as well, because as we're saying, it was literally just about to come off for Jordan Henderson, and that substitution obviously is going to be made now. And we've about half an hour of the game left. We're going to have 11 v 10. As I said, I don't think it's a red card. Gary Neville is saying he doesn't believe it's a red card. It was a serious injury, but from that angle, from what was shown on the television at the very least, from a far angle, it didn't look to me to be a red card tackle. But of course, the extent of the injury has led to the dismissal of Pascal Struijk. So, red card for Leeds, down to 10 men. Liverpool, with half an hour left of this game, I think that really does take a bit of the sting out of the match. But it looks like they're a bit of a leg breaker there for Harvey Elliott. As I said, the instant reaction of Mohamed Salah was not good. Long ball up, though, here for Liverpool. Robertson tries to flick the ball into the box. There was a marauding run made from Fabinho. Didn't get his head onto it. And Leeds now with 10 men have got to score 2 goals minimum to get back into it with 1 man less on the pitch. Harrison, ball into the box towards Bamford. Makes a run towards the near post and doesn't get the ball. Cleared away by Liverpool. And it just leaves a little bit of a dampener on this game, doesn't it now? 25 minutes left. I would love to have found some form of replay for the tackle. Probably could be one I'll have to have a look at off stream to see that one again. But as I said, Henderson on the pitch now for the last 25 minutes of this game, and there is going to be a foul given here. Henderson on Junior Firpo, free kick for Leeds in a fairly decent position. And just as I said, just maybe if they can get something in this game here, Leeds, with 25 minutes left. Obviously, they are a man down now, which is going to make the task even more harder. But, you know, this is a side who... I'm not going to say they can do it. I really don't. I think it's probably done and dusted for me in terms of the actual scoreline. But if they were to get something here, it would make it interesting. So, free kick lobbed in by Rafinha. Comes towards the near post, towards Bamford, who is desperately sprawling to get a touch on the ball. He goes down in the box in the end. And I think the offside flag was going to go up anyway. And in the end, yes, nothing's going to be given. But here is a sight that Leeds fans are going to like to see. Not been the best day so far for them at Ellen Road. But they are about to see Daniel James come on for his Leeds debut. We've about 25 minutes left of this match. See what he can bring to this Leeds side, of course, joining from Man United for about 25 million quid. I think it was 27 million. Most expensive transfer for Leeds, breaking their record. Going to be interesting to see what he brings to Leeds. Of course, never really got onto the scene, did he, with Man United? He had that first couple of months as a Man United player where he really burst onto the scene and everyone thought, you know, maybe we're going to see a little bit more of Daniel James as a Man U player, but he just fizzled out as time went on, and unfortunately for him, it never really got into the swing of things at Manchester United. But Leeds will be a big home for him. Always does look like, to me, a type of player that would fit in a Bielsa side. And as Tubbs has said in the chat, Bielsa teams never give up. And you're absolutely spot on with that. It's just whether or not they can get themselves 2 goals with the less. Well, I'm trying to say what the word is. With one less player, that's it. With one less player on the pitch. But here it is then, the change that is going to be made in a second. Corners will be taken first for Liverpool. Free kick given to Leeds. And that will now see the change made for Leeds United. And here he comes, the £27 million man, Daniel James, comes onto the pitch. Jack Harrison comes off. It was fought a few years ago when he was linked with Leeds United. It was in the documentary, if you remember. He was there. He was signing the contract to join the club. And of course, he joined Manchester United in that last hour deal. But now, he is a Leeds United player, the second time lucky. And I guess in a game like this, with the way that the game is, this is going to be a bit of free rein for the Welshman to just really show himself off in this match. Of course, yes, as we said, these teams do not give up when you're under Bielsa, but I think he's got a bit of a free roam here to kind of show what he can do as a Leeds player. And as I said earlier, I do think he's a type of player that would fit a Bielsa system perfectly well. Hard-working individual. And with 20 minutes left on the clock, probably about 25 if you include the couple of minutes that we are going to get added on at the end. Maybe Daniel James can bring a bit of that magic that he brought to the table when he first joined Man United. As I said, had that really good run for the first month or two and then fizzled away. Leeds fans will be hoping he can bring a bit of that to their team. As I am going to actually very quickly change as well that Elliott has come off. And just change that to Henderson. And then I'll change the other one as well. So Henderson obviously coming on for Elliott because of the injury. And then we've also had Harrison come off too for James. Chance here for Leeds though. It's going to be Daniel James's first touch as a Leeds man. Plays the ball to Bamford. Ball on the left wing with Firpo. Tries to flick a ball into the box. And well, Firpo's calling for a corner for Leeds. Referee disagrees and he's given a goal kick to Liverpool. And the Leeds fans in disarray at the decision from the referee. But he's given a goal kick. And with about 20 minutes left on the clock, time is running out for Leeds United to get something in this game. As I said, I really do feel like the injury fizzles a lot of the game out, as you would expect. I think, many times where there's been serious injuries, usually that kind of overlays the rest of the match, whatever happens. But obviously Liverpool now comfortably in the lead in this game. They will be looking to try and maybe get one or two more in this game. It would put them, I think, second in the league if they got two more. After Tottenham dropped points yesterday, they moved away from the top of the table. United went top after their 4-1 win against Newcastle United. Obviously, Man City as well getting a win against Leicester City might have put them top two. So still plenty of time in this one for a few more goals for Liverpool. Here is Calvin Phillips on the ball, just trying to dance his way around the Liverpool attack. As Leeds are deep in their own half. Patiently waiting to build up now. Started to get a little bit more of the ball in the last 5 or so minutes. Ayling with a long ball towards James. Doesn't get towards him. Will be a Leeds throw-in. Can they make something in this game? Let's hope, as I said, that injury to Elliott isn't anything too serious. Going to be a free kick here, though, for Leeds. In a very similar position to the one that we got before. Fabinho here with the foul. Remember, he is on a yellow card. A few Leeds fans calling for a red card to be given. I think that will probably be the Brazilian's last warning. And a free kick here for Leeds United. In a very decent position. As I said, similar position to the one that we had before. And Rafinha stood over the free kick. Lobs the ball into the box. Comes towards the near post towards Bamford. Headed away by Van Dijk. And now a chance here for Liverpool to hit on the break. Sadio Mane trying to come forward. Good tackle from Cooper. Gets the ball back. Phillips at the edge of the box for Leeds. Goes into the box. He goes down. Calls for a penalty. Referee instantly waves them away. Of course, VAR can always check that if needed. But I don't think that's going to be given as a penalty. It was quite a decent challenge actually there from the Liverpool back line. But nothing going to be given there for Leeds. But good tackle from Cooper to get that ball back. Here comes Liverpool though, all on ball towards Trent. Inside the box on the right wing. What can Trent do here? Cuts in, takes on the shot. But it's straight into the hands of Melier. And Leeds will try to come forward again. It's just become a little bit more end-to-end in the last few minutes. Both teams, I think, just starting to feel their way back into the game after Harvey Elliott's potential leg-breaking injury. Pascal Struijk being sent off for that. As I said, don't realistically think Struijk was initially going to get a red card for it. But he was sent marching by the referee about a minute or two after the foul had been made. Phillips with a long ball up to Dan James. A little bit too heavy though. And out of play for a throw-in. Don't forget, we've got a few more streams coming up over the next few weeks on the channel. Over this week, we've got lots of continental football action. Champions League is back on Tuesday. You can join myself, Keddy and Roan, on Tuesday at 10 to 8. Bayern and Chelsea in action. On Wednesday, PSG and Madrid are in action, and as well as a few other sides. You can join us from 10 to 8 for that. For Matchday 1's Goal Show. And then on Thursday, you can join myself and Roan from 5:35 for the early Europa League and Conference League kickoffs. And then you can join probably myself and KD for the 8 o'clock kickoffs a couple of minutes before they kick off on Thursday. The continental or European football is back. We'll be covering every single game live on the Sports Corner over the season to come. It's a long season ahead. Here is Leeds on the attack. Firpo trying to feed the ball to Daniel James. Daniel James not on the same level as Firpo. And it will now come to Mohamed Salah, who can drive forward. It's a 3-on-2. Ball towards Mane, who's inside the box. Could be a chance here for Mane at the near post. Brilliant tackle from Luke Ayling. And that might have just been a goal-saving tackle from the fullback. And now he sent Rafinha on his way. Might be onside. Flag hasn't gone on as of yet. He's inside the box. Rafinha lays it off to Bamford. There's a tussle between him and Alisson. And Alisson comes out on top with the ball. And in the end, it wasn't offside. And that was the chance for Leeds to get one back. And Rafinha just a little bit too close towards the near post. He waits for the run of Bamford. And in the end, as I said, there was that little tussle between Bamford and Alisson as Liverpool come forward again. Jota to Salah. Salah with a shot at the edge of the box. Tries to kill it into the top left-hand corner of the goal. But it goes high and wide of the goal. And now to play for a goal kick. As I said, this game just becoming a little bit more end-to-end in the last few minutes. Just seeing that chance there from Mane again. The really, really good tackle from Luke Ayling. Just times his slide tackle intricately to make sure that he just can't get that shot towards the near post. With 15 minutes left here. Liverpool 2, Leeds 0, corner for Liverpool. Robertson going to take the corner. Lobs it into the box. Comes towards Virgil. Eventually lands at the feet of Fabinho and does get a touch of the ball. Not going to be a goal this time from him, unfortunately. Retrieved by Jota. Fabinho on the right wing. Dinks the ball towards the near post, but straight into the hands of Melier. And he's looking to try and hit Leeds on the break instantly. But he's blocked by all avenues. And instead, he's going to have to slow it down. As I'm just looking at the stats of the game. 21 attempts from Liverpool. 8 attempts from Leeds. 9 shots on target in the match overall. That's 3 from Liverpool. 6 from Liverpool. And 3 from Leeds. And what I will say is, obviously, there's that first kind of 5 minutes after Harvey Elliott's injury, where the game had just kind of fizzled out slightly, but the game just seemed to have got back to that end-to-end level again, both teams going for it. you can see that there are going to be spaces for Liverpool to exploit. Wow, Leeds have got 10 men. But they're not doing too bad, are they, Leeds here? Still had a few chances. In fact, you could probably say they've arguably had more chances with 10 men than they had with 11. Which, as you know, we said earlier, that Leeds always are a team that never give up. They've always got that spirit of just consistently battling until the very end. And they're definitely doing that right now. But here's Liverpool. Shot at the edge of the box. Good tackle by Cooper, who's going to have to be very, very well and aware of what tackle he makes in this game, being on a yellow card. Here come Liverpool again, though. It's going to be Trent Alexander-Arnold on the far right. He's had a stellar game today. Liverpool just slowing it down slightly as they look to edge towards victory. 13 minutes left of normal time. Probably about 15, 16 minutes left of the game overall. We'll probably get a fair chunk of added time with Harvey Elliott put on that stretcher. Here come Liverpool though again. Robertson. Henderson at the edge of the box with a shot. Melier parries the ball away. Jota trying to get there in the end, but Melier is quick enough to respond and get the ball back into his hands. And just make sure that Liverpool don't get a third in this game. We said it before. Leeds here. You probably needed a goal to make this interesting, but I just think now it's going to be too little too late. As Harry's not home, he's in the building. He says, Josh, remember me? I'll give you a hint. I support Newcastle. I do remember you. We had a lot of conversations about Newcastle. How are you doing, mate? Hopefully you're all good. Apart from your club. Not the most exciting times if you're a Newcastle fan. Feels like there's an all-out war at that club right now. It's just ridiculously bad. You've got a manager who is blaming the board for not having enough cash to spend. You've got a board that is saying your manager's had enough cash to spend. The fans, obviously, rightly so, in disarray. I feel like it's a Western shootout at Newcastle, where everyone seems to have got a gun pointed at their head right now. You know, Steve's got a gun pointed at... I forgot what your owner's called. Mike Ashley. Mike Ashley's got a gun pointed at his head. The fans have got a gun pointed at his head. Honestly, it's a full-blown out war at Newcastle right now. He's Leeds on the attack, though. Daniel James trying to whip a ball into the box. Going to go out of play for a corner. There's still time for Leeds here. Get one goal back. It still makes it interesting. As I said, I do think Leeds have looked a little bit better with 10 men. And Harry's not home. Used to be called Harry. You did indeed, as I said. Yeah, I do remember our chats of Newcastle. Dira saying surely Liverpool will win. I mean, if you were to base it on a win percentage, then yeah, I would have said Liverpool are 90% likely to win this game. But you know, I've seen some crazy things in football, and it would not be crazy if Leeds were to get one back and make it interesting. To get two back might be a bit of a push with 10 minutes left, but might be a chance here for Liverpool to get free because Mane's in here. Oh, brilliant from Mane, and he's missed it. Oh, I mean, he could have had a hat-trick of goals today, Mane. And he's missed again. And he's rightfully disappointed. It's a brilliant, brilliant chance. Salah gets the ball down to Jota. Loads of space in the middle for Mane. He cuts in. Gets himself into the middle of the box. And he just hits the ball on his left foot. Tries to hit into the bottom left-hand corner. Melier gets a touch on the ball. And in the end... Again, another chance there for Mane, in which he hasn't put the ball in the back of the net. But we are going to have another change here for Liverpool. Diogo Jota is going to come off. Could have had an assist there with his last moment in the game, but this is a nice sight. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, a man who I think is going to get a lot more game time this season in a Liverpool shirt, if he stays fit. Comes onto the pitch for the last 10 minutes. Corner, though, for Liverpool. Lofted in by Trent. Mane with a chance, but free kick being given anyway, I think. By the referee, yeah. Free kick has been given. Dira saying Leeds may score one goal, but they will not win. As I said, I doubt it. I doubt they're going to do anything. I think this will end with Liverpool keeping a clean sheet, but I've seen stranger things in the world of football. I remember that time when I think Everton, was it Everton or Newcastle? I'm pretty sure it was Everton. Everton were 2-0 up against Newcastle. There was like 2 minutes of additional time, and then Newcastle scored 2 in 2. I've seen stranger things. Bamford's seen Alisson off his line, though. He's sitting from the halfway line, and it's a brilliant effort from Bamford. And Alisson, who's backpedaling, has to get a touch on the ball. And that was a spectacular chance from Bamford, just past the halfway line. Very similar to the chance that Schick scored at the Euros. And I mean, that was literally as perfectly placed in terms of the shot. Alisson there gets the touch. And it will be a corner here for Leeds, but that was a stellar chance from Bamford. Corner coming for Leeds, cleared away. But that was a really, really good effort from Bamford there. Had a little bit of everything this game. We could have had a red card, could have had a halfway line goal. Would have had a very nice match to start the season off, but I think he's played all right today, Bamford. I think he'll be a little bit disappointed that he's not had more opportunities in the game, but you know, when his best chance has been pretty much just past the halfway line, it kind of says something to a certain extent. I think in the first half, he would have been a little bit disappointed with his first touch. I think there were 2 or 3 opportunities where he could have gone through on goal, where his touch just let him down. But I really do think today he's had a fair few chances where he could have put the ball in the back of the net. You know, that little tussle with Alisson earlier on in the game. He had a near post header with one of the corners. I mean, that halfway chance, I'm not going to class that as an obvious chance on goal. That is a speculative one, but it's as close as he's been, hasn't it, really, to putting the ball in the back of the net for Leeds today. Here come Liverpool, though. Chance for Mane at the edge of the box on the left wing. He's hacked down by Calvin Phillips. Ball not properly cleared away. It's a bit of desperate defending by Rafinha. And I think in the end, the offside flag's gone up on Oxlade-Chamberlain. So it will be a free kick for Leeds. I think referee, though, having a bit of a discrepancy. I don't know whether it's giving a free kick to Liverpool for the foul on Mane. I don't know what he's really giving it. I think he's going out as a free kick anyway. But it looked for a second that the referee was going to give something for the initial tackle on Mane, but it isn't, yeah. Free kick there for Leeds. As we enter the final 5 minutes of this Premier League tie. Probably 10 minutes left. Obviously, if you're not aware, Harvey Elliott had to come off with a potential leg breaker or ankle breaker. Pascal Strick sent off. Personally, don't think it was a red card. But the extent of the injury was probably what made it worse. As Alisson again very nearly giving the ball away in his own half. But Liverpool coming forward now. Henderson with a long ball. It comes towards Salah. And in the end, it's going to go out of play for a goal kick. Oxlade-Chamberlain with a slight touch on the ball, which takes it out of play. But in terms of the watch-alongs to come, as we said, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we've got the Champions League goal shows, covering every UCL game live. Wednesday, same again, covering the UCL games from the other night of action. Thursday, we've got the Europa League and the Conference League. We haven't actually got any other more league watch-alongs planned this week. I think the next league watch-along will be probably midweek next week. I'll have a glance over the games when we get a little bit closer. But for those of you that are regulars on the channel, we've got Rowan and Katie. They're back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. But in terms of solo watch-alongs, it's probably likely that most of the solo watch-alongs that'll be on the channel will be with myself until October time, which I'm more than fine with. And then we should have Will and KL back around about September, October time. More likely October than anything. So it shouldn't be too long until everybody's back on the Sports Corner again. But for now, it's just me today. KD and Rowan back on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. The Best Games Ever is asking what channel is this on TV. If you're in the UK, it's on Sky on their Premier League channel. But there's only about 5 minutes left. So be quick, because there's not long left of this game. Maybe 10 minutes, depending on the amount of added time that they add. I would assume, as I say, quite a bit, because of the potential ankle breaker for Harvey Elliott. Apparently it's 8 added minutes. So it's not over yet. Chance here for Liverpool though. Long ball from Henderson to Mane. Flag's gone up for offside though. And it's not really been Mane's day, has it? Could have easily had a hat-trick in this match. 3 brilliant chances in the game, which he's not been able to put away. And Leeds will come forward here. It's going to be Daniel James on the left-hand side. Plays it to Bamford at the edge of the box. Tyler Roberts, with a really poor touch, has gifted it away to Oxlade-Chamberlain. Although he's gifted it back to Leeds. It's like that present at Christmas no one wants. Nobody wanting the ball right now. Long ball towards Mane on the left wing. He's on the far side. He's going to cut into the middle. Cuts onto his left foot. He's up against Ayling. Takes the shot on. Deflection from Ayling. And out for a Liverpool corner. He's been dancing all game long, Mane. But unfortunately, his dancing skills today haven't really been great. His shooting has probably been terrible. I think it's probably the best way to put it. His shooting hasn't been great at all when it comes to the final third. And it's not often you say that, is it, really, about Mane? I wouldn't even say he's going through a blip. I just think he's had a really poor game today in terms of his finishing. But we are going to get a corner here for Liverpool. As I said, probably, I think it was 8 minutes of additional time we're going to get. So plenty of time still left in this game. The only game in the Premier League today as well, which is quite weird for a Super Sunday. Usually you've got like 2:30 and 4:30, but just the one game today as the corner is lofted in. And it is cleared away by Daniel James with the header. Comes back to Liverpool on the halfway line. Robertson. Going to hoof the ball long to Trent. Junior Firpo with a header away and a throw in for Liverpool just by the corner flag. And in fact, it'll be a corner in the end for Liverpool rather than a throw-in, which Trent will take. And we're into the last 45 seconds of normal time. We'll have that additional time in a moment. But don't forget, if you are new to stream, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. Instead, more watch-alongs to come, as we spoke about earlier. As we've revamped the channel slightly. New layout. What do you guys think of the layout? Does it look better than what we had before? I'm not going to lie, I used to hate the layout that we had. Obviously, I make all the graphics and that on the channel. I hated it. I think this looks so much better. It looks nice and clean, and it looks much more full on the screen, but in a good way. It doesn't look too clustered. But I think it looks really nice with the layout on the screen. So hopefully you guys have liked the revamp. We've got different layouts for each league as well. So as we do each league, you'll see the different layouts as we go along. But yes, new season. New start on the Sports Corners. We do go into 8 minutes of additional time. If you are wondering where those 8 minutes came from, Harvey Elliott did come off with a potential ankle-breaking injury. And that's where all that additional time has come from. Still time, though, for Leeds. Although I highly doubt it now. Henderson with a sloppy ball, giving it away to Firpo on the far left-hand side, inside of the attacking phase of play for Leeds. Trent Alexander-Arnold doing very well to get the ball back. He's just desperately hoofed it away. It's come to Ayling. Good work from Oxlade-Chamberlain, though. One of the fittest players on the pitch. Here's Robertson on the left wing. It's weird, isn't it? Because you could technically say today it's actually been a really quiet game from Robertson. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe other people will say Robertson's had a stellar game. I think he's played pretty alright today, but from what you usually see of Robertson, I think it's been very, very quiet on the left-hand side of the pitch from Liverpool today. There's been a lot of possession on the right-hand side. A lot of the time, I haven't seen Robertson make as many runs forward. I think a lot of the time when the ball has gone to the left, it was to Mane or to Jota. Obviously, Robertson tending to be the deepest player in his own half as well on set pieces and things like that. But I think he's played extraordinarily well. That's not to say or to discredit him in any way. I just think he's been quiet. But long ball from Henderson here. Thiago into Mane. And there's the goal he's been waiting for. And he will celebrate with the knee slide. And he will celebrate with 3 points for Liverpool, because that will settle it. It has been a topsy-turvy game if you're Sadio Mane. He could have had a hat-trick, but I think there is just relief on the face of the Senegalese forward, because he knows he could have easily had a hat-trick, but he finally gets his goal. And to just quickly talk you through it again, it's a really nice goal. All starts the right-hand side of the pitch. Henderson just outside the box, dinks a long ball to Thiago. Good touch from Thiago. He lays it off into Mane, who's just on the inside of the box. He swivels on the ball, he turns his man, and then smashes the ball into the right-hand corner. It is a very, very nice finish. And that will seal the deal for Liverpool. 3 points in the bag, 3 goals on the board, and a goal for Mane on a day where he could have had about 600. And you can just see the pure relief on his face as he gets his 99th goal for Liverpool. He's 1 off 100. As Thiago is going to come off the pitch. His last contribution will be an assist. And Naby Keita will come on for the final 5 or so minutes of the match. I'm pretty sure Naby Keita was on international duty with Guinea for the World Cup qualifying. But a pretty good performance today from Thiago. Certainly starting to gel into this Liverpool side. It's taken him a little bit of time, but he's certainly started to get there now in terms of better performances. I think it was this time last year, wasn't it, when he just joined Liverpool and everyone was saying he's been terrible and he's not really looking like a Liverpool player. But I think he's now starting to look like the real deal that they expected when he joined from Bayern Munich last season. As Dirash says, I knew it, mate, Liverpool was surely going to win. As I said, he's one of those where I said myself, I think Liverpool have got it in the bag, but I've seen strange things in football. Newcastle 4-4 a few years ago. Everton conceding 2 goals in 2 minutes in added time against Newcastle. We've seen bonkers things in football, but yeah, they've been good today, Liverpool. I wouldn't say they've been at full throttle, but they've been more than good enough to beat this Leeds side. And I'll come back to something I was saying earlier in the stream. You know, if you're a United fan and you watch the press conference which Ole Gunnar Solskjaer did on the first game of the season when Man United played Leeds, you know, he always said, whenever you play Leeds, I just see it as a one-off match. And it wasn't because obviously Man United and Leeds is classed as a derby. He sees it as a different match because he said the way that Leeds play, no other team plays like them. They leave so much space open, they leave so many gaps, yet they can still come at you over and over again. And that means you've got to work hard for 90 minutes straight. And I think, you know, he's spot on in that respect. I think whenever you do play Leeds, because of the style that they play, they are so different to any other side that if they lose, especially against the big teams, usually they just get absolutely battered. But when they play well, they are such a good side to watch. They can be so enjoyable. And unfortunately for Leeds today, I mean, you know, 3-0 is a deserved scoreline. I think we could have been sat here saying 4, 5, 6, especially with the way that Liverpool were in the first half. But they've had their fair share of chances themselves. And I just think for Leeds, and we were saying this right at the very start of the game, I just feel if Leeds had have made a few more signings, I think Leeds could have been a little bit more stronger in terms of the position up the table. You know, I really do think probably another forward for them would have been nice to have had in the team. Definitely in defence as well. I think they definitely needed another defender. But I think they've got a good enough squad to stay in the Premier League. As I said earlier, I think a mid-table finish is a very respectable place for Leeds to finish this season. But I will be interested to see what Leeds do in January, whether they make any business. Obviously, bringing in Daniel James, 27 million quid on deadline day was a good deal for them. But look, I think it's one of these games where you can't really judge Leeds in this match. There's going to be a lot more games this season where we see the very best of Leeds. But obviously the injury as well coming into play certainly overshadows it. Here comes Naby Keita though. inside the box for Liverpool. Ball dinked in by Robertson. It's going to come out to the edge of the box for Trent Alexander-Arnold, who's hit it on the half volley. And it will go out of play for a goal kick. And that will probably be one of the last moments in play. We're into the last 50 seconds of what will probably be a bittersweet day for Jurgen Klopp. A nice, comfortable 3-0 win against Leeds, but a massive, massive loss with Harvey Elliott. They're already missing Minamino and Origi and Firmino. I think all of those are injured. So Harvey Elliott injury as well, and a very serious one, is not what you want to see as a Liverpool fan. But a 3-0 win will put them back into the top 4, which is what all Liverpool fans will be aiming for this season. Top 4 and a fight for the title, no doubt. Free kick given to Liverpool, and that will probably be the last moment of the game. With 8 seconds left on the clock. Please don't forget, if you are new to the channel, don't forget to leave a like and subscription. We have got plenty more watch-alongs to come over the next few days, and that will be that. It's a win for Liverpool, but as that meme goes, it's a win, but at what cost? They might have won 3-0, but a game which was definitely overshadowed by the injury of Harvey Elliott. Hopefully, best wishes go out to him. A potential leg/ankle breaking injury, which overmarred the rest of the match. But either way, a very comfortable win for Liverpool today. Mane getting on the score sheet towards the end of the match. Could have easily had a hat-trick in the game. Salah getting his 100th Premier League goal, as well as Fabinho's first goal in over a year. Leeds, they had their chances. There was the speculative halfway line shot from Patrick Bamford, which very nearly trickled into the back of the net. But apart from that, it is not necessarily a day to remember for Leeds fans. It is a day to remember for a kid who's just got Salah's shirt. He'll be very happy about that, taking that home tonight. And a good win for Liverpool overall. 3-0 on the night. But I think all Liverpool fans will be waiting anxiously for the news on the extent of that injury to Harvey Elliott. Pascal Street was sent off as well. As I said, that is an interesting one to watch back to see whether it's a red card or not. But either way, that win for Liverpool will put them, I think, as I said, into the top 4 and into 3rd with the same amount of points and goal difference as Chelsea and Manchester United. Man United first, of course, Chelsea second, Liverpool in 3rd. Everton with a chance to go top potentially on Monday. Leeds, again, still waiting for the first win of the season. They sit 17th on 2 points, -7 goal difference. Again, though, still plenty of time for them to get their first win of the season on the board. Don't forget, we have got plenty more watch-alongs to come on the channel. I know I said it about 2 seconds ago, but this is what's to come on the channel over the next week. The Champions League is back. You can join us all week for every UCL game covered live on the channel. The Goal Show returns with me, KD and Rowan, on Tuesday and Wednesday night. You can watch us cover every single game live. You can also join us on Thursday for the Europa League and the newly formed Conference League. We'll be covering one match from each of the Europa League and the Conference League, as well as covering every other game live on the Goal Show. You can join us for the early kickoffs at 5:35 and the nighttime kickoffs at 7:55. Kickoff at 8 o'clock as always. Don't forget, if you want to check when we do go live on our channel, check out the links in the description as always. Twitter is at @the_top corner, and Instagram is _sportscorner_. They are the best places to check out when we go live on our channel. The links are in the description and in the chat as always. But that is it for our first watch along on the channel of this season. A very comfortable win for Liverpool, which puts them back into the top 4. A nice new looking layout. Hopefully, guys, have enjoyed it. We'll be back with our next watch along on Tuesday. The Champions League will be live from about 7:35. You do not want to miss it. It's going to be brilliant to have the Goal Show back on the channel. But for now, as I always like to say, have a fantastic morning, evening, or afternoon wherever you are. And we hope to see you again soon on the Sports Corner. See you later.